funny how it's like, where does creativity come from? Because, man, I've got a lot of it, and it comes whether I like it or not, man. And and there are times, right? Almost, it's like when your mind is really quiet, and you have a problem, and it's like in front of you, and then, in a way, it's almost like there's somebody standing nearby saying, "Invention. If you run the wiring loom over the frame rail, it will not wear through." and then somehow I get these things, and they come in ideas and pictures, and honestly, they never come in words. It's always just thoughts and images and pictures, and they just come, and they come so quick sometimes, and it's like flash, it's there, and then boom, it's gone, and it's like, and then you remember, and then you when the image just comes into your mind, and then you go, that's it, that's the solution. And it's a strange situation, because there's like, remember that Jay and Silent Bob movie a long time ago, where Silent Bob was like looking at this weird picture where a picture is hidden within garbage, basically visual garbage, and you have to like unfocus your eyes and look through it as if you were looking like 60 feet past the image, and then the result is suddenly it just comes into focus, and there it is, and then you blink and it's gone, and it's like it's like you were looking into something else, some other universe for just a split second, another frequency, another way of thinking. And I run into this all the time, and there are gifts. I almost think it's almost as if I am not an entire being. It's like as if I am just part of myself, and I am here, and then there is another part that just is like trying to whisper little hints, like how you're playing a video game and then you're yelling at your video game character. And I think, I'm a very spiritual, somewhat pretty spiritual guy, It's one of the reasons why this cancer doesn't scare me as bad as it should. It really should scare me worse than it does. Call me crazy if you want. Anyway, so basically I run into problems and I think about it, and but then if I just sort of dial off, like change my frequency and start thinking of other things, and then that image or that opportunity for creativity is still there, and it can just come out of nowhere and just shows up, and then boom, and it's like, and if your mind is quiet and you don't distract yourself, and you can like listen for it, it's almost like somebody's speaking and whispering to you, the answer, and then suddenly it comes through, and then you go, that's it. And we get so many of these gifts in this world, and so many solutions are provided for us just so, effortlessly. But almost certainly 99, almost more, probably more than 99% of the time, those opportunities are lost because the person thinks about it and then lets it go. And then when you And that's a gift that has been given to you. And then when you don't do, and a lot of these gifts, you can't just sit on them. You gotta move on them quick, or they're gone. You've got to do something. You got to write something down, or type something up, or even just speak out loud to yourself in the room to solidify the idea. Otherwise, the gift will go away, and then you'll say, wow, I had an amazing idea. What the heck was that? So I am in a situation where I have a gift and that's been given to me, and what do I do with it, right? I'm not in a situation to build something like this, and I have no desire to create a new automotive muffler, and it would probably only work for industrial engines anyway, because it has like a solid RPM that you can count on. And my idea is just, well, it's not even, I would almost say it's not my idea. The idea was provided to me free of charge by something. But I don't think I can take credit for this. It doesn't feel like I can take credit for this. So in any case, I'm going to hand it to any MGTOW who wants it. So what I was thinking is an interference muffler. An automotive muffler. Right now the only thing we have is, geez, I wonder if I have a pen to write this down. I'm going to pause this thing and look for a pen. I'm going to do the whiteboard thing. The board of truth. I miss MGTOW's freedom. I'm going to pause this. Darn, the only pen I can find is green. Okay, I'll use it. Just to be clear, you know, it's for anybody who wants it. I don't really give a shit. I've got all the money I need. I'm done. So I'm just going to provide this for anybody who wants it. Okay, we got the muffler. This is the input, like the exhaust comes from the engine, comes out these little holes in this big chamber, and then it goes in the other holes, and that's the muffler. And the flexing of the container plus the compression waves and everything all combine to sort of smooth everything out. Now, my theory though is that what if you take that exhaust pipe, right, and instead you just take it and cut it in two, right, at the engine. Let's say kind of like that, and make one pipe longer than the other. Whoops, man, my art is horrible. And then all the way back to the engine, and then the pipe joins back together and goes into the engine. Okay, so I was doing a little math the other day, and it turns out that the sound or the frequency of an engine, a six-cylinder engine that's going at about 1500 RPM, is about 30 hertz, and the length of the wave of the sound wave is about 15 feet long, right? So if you split the signal, if you split it, right, and then the two sound signals travel on two different conduits, and one is longer than the other, that will drop the high pulse into the muffler at different times. So if you have the frequency, it's a sine, basically it's a big huge bang, right? And then it comes back down like so. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't come down like that. And I'm going right to left anyway. I'm left-handed. So Oh, it's like left to right. Okay, so we've got the big, huge pulse, right? And then you have a corresponding drop or a trough, right? And then it comes back up, and then you're like that, right? But the thing is that that wave is like 15 feet long, honestly. It's not like a radio wave. This is like long, right? 15 feet long. So you can't have 15 feet of pipe, right? So the idea is to just make it a little bit longer so that the pulse, right, is split and it basically hits, right? And at this time, right afterwards, the pulse drops, but it will be a previous pulse, like from like 5 or 6 pulses ago, because we've only got like maybe a foot or so to deal with. Anyway, then you drop that delayed pulse directly into the margin where the other pulse would have been or would be, and they cancel each other out. Then you just get a flat spot, right? So you'll get the first bang, but you won't get the corresponding bang on the other end of the margin. So basically this is sort of a cheap and non-electronic way to basically what do you call it? Cancel out a sound wave, right? So I would probably, if I had time, well, I do have time, but if I had the interest, which I don't, enough to develop something like this, then I could be really angry, because if it's a good idea, the moment I attempted to patent it, some big company would take it away from me anyway. So I don't give a shit. There is no incentive, really. I would need a whole team of lawyers, because somebody would patent it in Malaysia where I wasn't able to patent it, and then they'd produce it and import it, and then I would have to fight it in every single country. Nah. I prefer to just let the idea flow into the wild. And if anybody wants to develop it, well, I suppose you can enjoy and have fun with it. And don't get married.